Okay, now, we're going to progress through some models of emotional processing, and then some neuropsychological models, and then we're going to get to the symbolic domain. That's what's going to happen now. So, you're going from point A to point B, and you're looking at the world through that framework. So that framework also configures your perceptions, and it also configures your emotional responses. And so it's variable. But within the variability, there are constants. And the constants are, you're going somewhere, you come from somewhere, and when you go from one to the other, there's only three things that can happen. Something you want, that's a good thing, that gets you to where you're going, and it validates the theoretical integrity of your perceptual frame. That's an important thing, right? It does two things. You get to where you're going, and it provides evidence that your current model is actually functional. So if you fail, both of those things go into question. One is, you're not getting where you want to go, that's a problem, but the worst one is, oh, the whole system that you're using to try to get to where you go also might be wrong, and you don't know where. Okay, so that's things that happen the way you want them to happen, that gets you to where you're going, validates your model, that produces positive emotion. The way it produces positive emotion is by activating the dopaminergic system. The dopaminergic system is embedded, it has its roots in the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus is roughly split into two parts. One part pops up subpersonalities that are charged with dealing with fundamental biological necessities. So aggression, hunger, thirst, sexual activity, temperature regulation, you know, the real basic animal-like drives, so to speak, that have to be gratified in order for you to survive. Half the hypothalamus deals with those things, and then the other half deals with exploration. And so that's pretty cool, because what it implies is that the urge to explore and the capability of responding to things that serve as markers on your way to a goal, that system is about as old from a phylogenetic perspective as the systems that regulate such things as hunger. It's a very, very fundamental and deeply rooted system. And so we're not talking about something that's peripheral, or that's only cognitive, or that's only a manifestation of a few thousand years of culture. It's deep. And it's so deep that you can't even fight with it. So, for example, part of the reason that you can tolerate being alive is because when you're progressing towards goals that you regard as valid, and when you're making progress, the dopaminergic system kicks in. It's an approach system. It kicks in. It makes you feel good. So there's a positive emotional element to that, which is sort of like, it's okay to engage with the world. That's sort of the message of that. It also facilitates certain kinds of learning, because it basically says, since what you're doing right now is working, it's okay if you learn how to do it better. So it reinforces it, right? That's part of the reinforcement structure. And then it also suppresses anxiety and pain. So for example, I don't know if you know this or not, but cocaine is a pretty good analgesic. And if you mix cocaine with opiates, which is something to think about if you're ever dying of intractable cancer and you're in terrible pain, if you mix stimulants with opiates, you get a better pain medication than either one of them alone. Plus you stay alert, which is also a useful thing to know. So Ritalin and opiates works as well. So it's important to know that if you ever know someone who's in severe, intractable, and final pain, because it can be managed, although doctors are loath to mix those things, but whatever. Okay, so when does the dopaminergic system manifest itself? Well, under two conditions. One is